You are looking live here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, here at DNA HQ. My name is Darren. That is a wall. AJ is not here this week. He's actually on vacation this week. So wherever he is this weekend, we wish him a happy travels, happy safe travels, and make sure that you guys all wish him that in the comments down below as well. As a reminder, folks, this is a live show. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, if you're watching this on our sister channel, Utah Jazz DNA, which, by the way, first of all, welcome. This is our third week being live on this channel, and welcome to all 4,500 of you. We just passed 4,500 subscribers on that channel, so thank you all very much for being part of part of our community on that channel. It's been great engaging with you all in the comments there and talking Jazz basketball from unbiased, unpaid sources from the team there. It's always nice to be able to have a fan perspective and be able to interact with you guys, and that's basically the point behind these channels, is for us to interact with you guys there. So lots to talk about on the Utah Jazz, lots to talk about in Major League Baseball. Again, if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, we're live on that channel as well. We'll be talking throughout the night on that one. After we stop talking Jazz basketball, I will shut off the Utah Jazz DNA. So if you'd like to join us on DNA Sports Recap, where we talk the rest of the show about Major League Baseball, hop over to DNA Sports Recap on YouTube and be sure to subscribe there, because we'd love to see you on that side as well. With all that said, again, folks, jump in the chat. Let me know where you're watching. I want to hear from you guys. Again, we want to know where you're watching from, what's your favorite color, and since AJ's not here, it's okay if you don't say red. So yeah, again, AJ will be out this week, so you just got me here. It's going to be us talking sports here. So yeah, feel free to jump into the chat and let me know what you guys' thoughts are on what I'm talking about. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to interact with you guys, and also make sure you guys say safe and happy travels for AJ there while he's on vacation. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and talk some Utah Jazz, shall we?
Before we get to the content, we like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Jazz DNA. Smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. When it comes to Utah Jazz content this week, let's talk about Darryn Peterson, and let's make our final impressions on him for the Summer League. Now, he was able to play in one more Summer League game after last week, after our episode last week. And let's go ahead and kind of cover that line there. It wasn't that impressive, so we won't spend a whole much time on that, mainly just covering what we thought overall. But his final game against the Spurs, like I said, was kind of meh. He did score 15 points on 4 of 16 shooting, which was not good, not at all. But overall, I think we can be happy with what we saw from our number 2 overall pick. His final line for the summer has him at averaging about 23 points per game, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 block, and 1 steal per game. He played in 5 games. He was shooting 39.8% from the field and 34.5% from 3. His best games obviously did come in Salt Lake City, with quite a big drop-off abruptly once that went from Salt Lake City to Vegas. He went from 53% shooting in Salt Lake down to 31% shooting in Vegas, which is, quite obvious, a big drop in efficiency there. But if you watch those games, especially those first against the Clippers and the Wizards there, you can see that they specifically saw those games in Salt Lake, and they made their defense scheme appropriately based off of those, where, DP was getting double teamed, sometimes triple teamed. Anytime he came across the line, there was 2 sets of eyes on him, and if he touched the ball, he was double teamed right away, and they were forcing him to either A, try and take a tough shot, or B, make a pass. So you saw a lot of those early turnovers and a lot of sloppy play there in that case. Something I don't expect to see him have to deal with once he's on with the rest of the team on an NBA roster. He's going to have a little bit more faith in his ability to, when he makes those passes, that those folks are going to be able to, again, catch those passes, first of all, and also, be able to make a shot, create a shot. The team defense is going to be a lot better. They're going to have more than just a couple of weeks of playing with each other, but to build some chemistry there. We're going to have preseason, so we're going to see a lot of DP with this team, and we're probably going to see quite a bit of the inefficiency drop off, quite a bit of the questionable plays there. But what can we say? What is our takeaway from summer league when it comes to Darryn Peterson? Hashtag future statue. We saw a flash of a complete player, right? There were games where he stuffed the stat sheet there. He was elite at getting into the line. In games where he wasn't shooting very well, he still was able to get to the line. He was able to get inside, create a shot, and play through contact, which I think is really important. Which actually leads me to the main point when it comes to Darryn Peterson, and what I wanted to see coming out of summer league was health. He was able to stay healthy, play without any injury concern, or play without any real reservation to his game. I mean, like I said, he was not avoiding contact. He was driving in the paint, trying to put up shots, drawing contact, playing through it. I mean, he averaged 28 minutes playing in 5 games in 11 days. And, he came out of it saying he felt 100%. He felt healthy. So you love to see it. I mean, now does this completely put to bed any of the conditioning issues that we may have seen coming out of Kansas? Not necessarily, but it's definitely a good indication in the right direction when it comes to this kid. He's going to do a great job as far as, keeping up on his conditioning. He's saying all the right things in the post-game interviews, telling that he wants to clean up his turnovers when he has a bad turnover night and staying in shape there coming into fall camp for the Jazz. So I want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I want to hear from you. Let me know what your takeaways are, what your thoughts, what your feelings are when it comes to Darryn Peterson. Did he impress you in Summer League this year? Was there anything that came out of it that you guys were concerned about that I didn't cover? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear from you there on that. And again, let us know what your thoughts are there. Now, again, fall camp is coming up for the Utah Jazz. They do start fall camp on September 27th. That's the next time we're going to be able to see Darryn Peterson in a Utah Jazz uniform. Not just Darryn Peterson. The rest of the team is going to be there too, believe it or not. And so it's time that we actually talk about somebody who really hasn't been talked about a lot in quite a while when it comes to the Utah Jazz. So, we talked a lot last year. If you're a regular on the channel, we talked a lot last year about Keontae George, breakout season that he had as far as his development and improving his play on the court there. We talked about Ace Bailey developing quite nicely in the fantastic trade they got when they traded for Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. Again, just fantastic trade. We didn't talk about enough about how great that was when it went down, but it's easily one of the, probably I'd say easily the best trade the Jazz have made within the last 10 seasons. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments there if I'm missing somebody, but I'm pretty sure we're good on that one. Probably one of the best trades. I think I said it was the best one since Jeff Hornacek way back in the day. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat there if I'm missing somebody. But yeah, one player that we didn't talk much about that's going to have a lot of expectations coming into this season is going to be the finisher, Lauri Markkanen. Really, he only had one real full healthy season when he was with the Jazz, where he played more than 56 games in a season. I know it feels like he's played on this team forever, but he hasn't been here forever. In that season, the 2022-2023 season, I believe that was the year, he played 66 games, averaged 34 minutes per game. He scored 25 points per game with 2 assists, 8 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field and 39% from deep. In that season, he was an all-star starter, by the way, in Salt Lake City. Again, that's one of the things that doesn't get mentioned enough. He was a starter in that all-star game, which was absolutely awesome. He also won Most Improved Player of the Year award that year. In the next game, he actually played 55 games that season. We still saw some of the same level of production, but due to injuries and right around that time, we started seeing the Jazz try not to win games. So we saw a lot of these, quote unquote, air quote injuries, if you're listening on the podcast, air quote injuries that started to affect Lauri Markkanen down the way there throughout that season, as well as through the rest of his time here so far with the Utah Jazz. But with that said, do we expect the finisher to return to form in a Utah Jazz uniform? I would absolutely say 100% yes. This again, we're going to have expectations for this guy. When he's playing more than 50 games a year, he's averaging pretty close to 25 points per game. He's an efficient scorer. Again, he was even better from three last year than he was the year before. So we're seeing improvements on that from deep there. He's becoming great at a spot up 3-point shooter. He's really great at stretching the floor. I think it's really important to kind of say, okay, when he was an all-star, he had a great team around him, right? And he hasn't really had that the last couple of years, but again, he hasn't been really playing a lot the last couple of years. So what does it look like for Lauri Markkanen coming into this year? And we actually have some comments there that I got from AJ, which I'll read to you here. He was kind enough to share this with me before we left. So let's go ahead and break down what he basically stated there when it comes to Lauri Markkanen. He said here that the most important things is to look at Larry is to see who's around him when he was last selected to the All-Star game. Because analyzing your talent around you, he could become the key answer can become the key answer on whether or not he can get back to all-star performance with this team that he currently has. So when he was selected to the All-Star game in the 2022 season, 2023 season, 2022 and 2023 season, the main starting five was as follows. He had Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri, Jared Vanderbilt, and Kelly Olynyk. That was the starting rotation for the Utah Jazz at the time. We look at now we all know Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, what they can do. Mike is a solid point guard, legit shooting threat from outside. He's a serviceable defender for an undersized guard, and he makes everyone around him a little bit better. Now compare him to Keontae George. Keontae George is 4 inches taller. He's a better all-around scorer, and he has showed from his defense a lot of improvement on the defensive side last year, and is becoming better defensively than what Mike was doing in his tail end of his career as a Jazz man. Jordan Clarkson has always been an elite scorer his whole career. Congratulations, Jordan Clarkson, by the way, getting that ring this year with the Knicks. He put, if you put him. You take him out, and then you put the potential of Darryn Peterson, who I would say is JC's skill level, if DP's floor for his talent, except DP is a much better defensive player, and then a lot more, and he's also a lot more consistent on offense. Very true. JC could be streaky at times. Darryn Peterson seems a little bit more consistent there. Jared Vanderbilt is absolutely no comparison to Triple J at the 4. Triple J is a former defensive player of the year who can also spread the floor, shoot the 3, and is just much better polished player all around. I think Olynyk and Nurkic are actually an interesting comparison because Kelly shoots better, but they have a very similar ability to pass the ball and make plays and make players better around them. With all that said, Lauri Markkanen has much more talent around him, and if he ever is going to return to all-star form, this is the year that he should be able to do that with much more talent on the bench and a much deeper team than what he had in 2022 and 2023. Yeah, I want to hear from you folks, man. What's your thoughts on that in the comments down below? If you're watching this on the live stream, jump in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. There's not a whole lot of discourse around Lauri Markkanen right now and what we should expect coming from this player out of the rebuild, basically, now that the rebuild's over and now we're moving into the development phase and seeing what this team can do on the court. What are your expectations of Lauri Markkanen? I mean, I honestly think that he is going to be as productive as he was in the 2024 season. I think that's probably going to be seeing where we're going to see him at when he played in 55 games, which again was still putting up all-star numbers. I just don't think he played in enough games to qualify for an all-star to be an all-star. I think he might have been hurt originally right around that time, so he didn't make the selection. But I think we're going to see the same level of production from him. I just think that there's a lot more when it comes to being an all-star than simply just being a good player. I think there's a lot more to the conversation of, how marketable you are as a player, what's the media buzz around you. And I can see that he would, while I still agree with AJ to an extent that he's the most important player on this team right now out the gate, I do see that not a lot of eyes are going to be on him, and there's going to be a lot more media coverage on Keontae George and Darryn Peterson and how those two are going to be playing with each other, playing playing on the same court as each other in the front court or back court, front court, back court. I always get that one confused. Let me know in the chat where I'm getting wrong on that one. But I think there's going to be more conversation around that, around Ace Bailey, and where he's going to find minutes. And then we're going to see the finisher get. Hopefully, I'm wrong on that. Hopefully, I expect him to be back to form as usual. Again, shooting 50% from the field, shooting 40% from three. One thing I definitely need to see from that guy, and we'll talk about this in another episode when AJ's back, is talking about how we're going to cover who's going to get the rebounds. This is not a strong rebounding team. We're going to find rebounds. I know I mentioned that Lauri's gotten 8 rebounds, but we're going to start seeing double-digit rebounds from Lauri. More to come on that here in another episode when we get into that later on in the off season there. But yeah, I want to hear from you folks. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, so we know where you guys are coming from. I mean, do you expect him to return to All-Star form? Do you think he's going to be selected as an All-Star, which I think is a completely different subject altogether? He could be at All-Star form, put up the points, rebounds, assists, could be the efficient player, but is he going to get a look because of how many eyes are going to be on other players on this team? I don't know. Just something you want to keep in mind there. Again, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to Lauri Markkanen and your expectations for him this offseason. We also have another subject we want to talk about here, which actually is Josh Okogie, Okogie signed with the Utah Jazz. So this signing, the Jazz signed a 7-year veteran. Okogie has signed a 2-year, $12 million contract with the Utah Jazz. It is expected that he will be brought in to bolster the team's perimeter defense and be more of a veteran presence on this roster. One of my favorite things about this is he is a 6'4" shooting guard who last played in Houston. Again, you know how I feel about the short king thing. I think we're done with that. I think Isaiah Collier is the shortest guard we have on the team. And I think 6'4" with a decent wingspan is going to be pretty good for a little bit of help there. Again, he played in Houston last. He played 78 games last year, starting in 32 of them, where he averaged 4 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, 39% from three. His defensive rating is 113.5. That stat shows you basically how many points you're allowing per 100 possessions, and the average amongst guards is 117.1. So he's above average defensive player, and I think that's going to be where he's going to be fitting in. Offensively, not much to talk about there. He's averaging 17 minutes per game. I think he averaged like 4 points per game, less than 2 assists per game, less than a steal and a block. I think his presence is more on just what we're probably going to see him be. It's going to be more in that 3D type player, 3-and-D type player for the Utah Jazz. Keep the other team's best guard in check while they're on the floor and filling in kind of that Royce O'Neal spot that we really haven't had since his departure. I mean, that trade was really the move that the Utah Jazz front office did that kind of set this whole Jazz tanking thing into effect. That really kind of set the bar. Then after that, you saw what happened with this team, where we gutted all of our talent for prospects and draft capital and kind of went from there. Now with that all behind us, I'm super excited to see how Josh fits in with this team, like where he's going to be most. Obviously, he's going to be a second unit guy, right? It's going to be great to actually have somebody like him back on the roster, like a Royce O'Neal type back on the roster with this team. That's going to be that defensive presence on that second unit we're going to need. Obviously, with Isaiah Collier lacking the size that we would need for defensive presence at the one, while he is a physical defender, he does lack that size that we need. So having a more defensive shooting guard that can guard the other team's best guard, best perimeter player, I think is going to go quite well for this team. I mean, obviously we have DP as well as Keontae George, who both. DP is considered a two-way player. He's very proud of his defensive prowess, as well as Keontae George made huge strides on that side of the ball last year, and he's serviceable as a defensive point guard. I think just his size and his reach kind of helps fill in some of the gaps there. And obviously we're going to have, 3 7-footers on the team. So it's going to be pretty interesting front court there or back court. I still can't remember, get those things nailed. I've heard them both ways. It's going to be great to see. I love the signing. It's not a huge contract, 2 years, $12 million, right around. So you're getting about $6 million of value per year for this player. If he's averaging 17, 20 minutes a game, and we get, just again, some defensive suppability and some suffocation on the defensive end there for these guards that traditionally have torched the Utah Jazz. I don't know if you guys know this over the last 5-6 years, even going back to the Donovan Mitchell days, we see a lot of these guards that just have career. Some of these guards are not even starters, just having career nights against the Utah Jazz. We've never been that well defensively among the guard lines. So I'm excited to see what this guys can do. I think it's a perfect signing for the Utah Jazz. You're adding depth on the perimeter. And I think that's just the right move here. You're not going for the splashy sign here. I think this is exactly where the move that they need to make to help shore things up and again, that veteran presence, this guy's had been on 5 different teams in 7 years. So to have him on that veteran presence on this team, I think is gonna go have paid great dividends in the locker room. We've got a comment here from Michelle McKinnon there. Good hustle, Okogie. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, man. He's going to have that in him. So we'll see. We'll see how that translates. Again, looking forward to seeing him in the once the season starts in October. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What's your take on the signing on Josh Okogie? Again, this is, really kind of just a depth piece there, not really a needle mover. We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are. Does it mean something, nothing, everything? We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Again, folks, I cannot begin to state how excited we are that this channel has 4,500 subscribers. This was a channel that's not even 2 months ago didn't break 300 subscribers, and over the last 2 months, we're now at 4,500. We're able to do this show live on Utah Jazz DNA. So if you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA during the live show, drop in something in the chat there. Drop me a thumbs up, some engagement there. Let me know which channel you're watching on. Love to see that. And again, we're really looking forward to the Utah Jazz. I think they had a great summer league, a great showing from the key player we wanted to see. I think we've signed back the talent we needed to have. I think we've added on the perimeter. But my hot take is I don't think the Utah Jazz are done. I don't think they're done. I think there's something else they're going to do. Again, we'll talk more about this when AJ comes back, but I think there definitely is need for some more rebounding on this team. I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know if it's rebounding by committee here, but again, I mean, hopefully it's not where Jaren Jackson's playing majority of his minutes at the center, which again, I know he's not necessarily the most, he's a great player. He won Defensive Player of the Year as a center, right? But again, if you're a center, you need to be averaging more rebounds. And that's been not part of his game. So I'd rather have him at the power forward spot, and hopefully we see some improvement from him on the rebounding as well. But yeah, I still feel like there's another move out there where the Utah Jazz are going to do something there. We got a comment here from friend of the channel here, Tammy Price. Congrats on the 4,500. Thank you very much, Tammy. Much appreciated. Again, so that kind of brings us up to everything we want to talk about when it comes to the Utah Jazz. As a reminder, folks, Utah Jazz DNA, this is a channel we developed specifically for your Utah Jazz content. So if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, a channel to Utah Jazz DNA will be linked in the description down below. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. If you're here for the Jazz content, make sure you like and subscribe to that channel. We're going to be covering more about the Utah Jazz this offseason, talking more about the lineups. What's the death lineup going to look like for this team? Where's the sides coming from? What's our first rotation look like? We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to have some good conversations when it comes to that. We also want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below on subjects we should be covering this offseason. This really isn't a recap type channel. We really kind of more cover the stories because we're doing more of I know it says DNA Sports Recap, right? But we cover more of the stories on the team, more of the storylines. We kind of only, when we meet once a week, it's really kind of tough to break down the games and kind of recap, every single game. It's going to be more of like how we're doing this week. And if there's any stories like injuries or, breakout players, that's more of what we're going to be covering. But if there's anything during the offseason you guys want us to cover in specific, let us know. We did get one suggestion there from channel subscriber there where you talked about what the MLB expansion with the state of Utah, mainly Salt Lake City, being one of the front runners for MLB expansion. How is that going to impact the Utah Jazz? I think that's a fascinating subject. Again, something I could talk about on my own right here, but I don't want to. I don't want to cut AJ out of that conversation, so we'll save that one for when he's back there. Once again, folks, appreciate everybody for joining us on Utah Jazz DNA. Again, if you're joining us on DNA Sports Recap, our main channel, we're going to continue talking baseball on that side of things. When it comes to Utah Jazz DNA, if you want to join us on DNA Sports Recap, please feel free to do so. Until then, we'll see you next week on Utah Jazz DNA.
Thanks for watching. We'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Utah Jazz DNA if this is the type of content that you enjoy. While you're down there, smash that like button for your boy Darren.
That's right. All right. Okay, so again, lots to talk about when it comes to Major League Baseball. We just came back. We have just seen games coming back from the All-Star break. A few things we want to talk about. Again, if you're joining us on the main channel, DNA Sports Recap, appreciate it. Thanks for joining. This channel has actually been growing in subscriptions as well. I think percentage-wise, we're up over 300% on people subscribing to Major League DNA over the last 90 days. So greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for engaging with this channel. It's super fun. We love talking ball. AJ and I do. Again, appreciate you guys joining us on Major League DNA. If you're subscribed to that channel, if you're watching this live on DNA Sports Recap, we expect to go live on that channel once we hit the subscriber numbers. We need to do that on that channel as well. So we just want to make sure we cover everybody and get our subjects to who wants to see it. So lots of sub channels going on. Look forward to speaking about some Utah football here coming up soon here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk some Major League Baseball. But first, before we get into the content, folks, we'd like to encourage you to join the conversation in the comments down below. While you're down there, consider subscribing to Major League DNA and make sure you smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Do it.
All right, we got a comment here from Utah Jazz DNA saying, "Great show, Darren. Appreciate it." Gee, I wonder who that is. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Again, everybody, tell AJ happy vacation and travel safely. Feel free to drink the water. I'm not bitter at all. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk some baseball here. First subject I want to talk about is going to be we got to talk about the Red Sox, man. The Boston Red Sox. This team, at the time of the recording, just had their 15-game winning streak come to an end tonight against Baltimore on a second game of a doubleheader. This team, man, oh my goodness. So the Red Sox, last time we spoke about the Red Sox, they were we got another comment here. We got it from AJ there. Thanks, buddy. And LOL, I'm not drinking the water. That's good. Hopefully whatever you're drinking has a lot higher proof than that, AJ. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in. So yeah, again, what we want to talk about when it comes to baseball, first thing is going to be the Red Sox. Again, they just came to a 15-game winning streak, just came to an end. Last time we spoke about the Red Sox, they had just fired their manager, Alex Cora. We did a video on that for all 5 people who watched that one. Thank you very much. We'll link to that one somewhere around here so you can see about that. But the Phillies fired their manager at the exact same time, right around the exact same time there. And their interim manager, I believe, was Don Mattingly. And they kind of turned it around right away. The Phillies went on a 46-26 turnaround basically right after they made that managerial change. The Red Sox, however, didn't turn things around so quickly. Before the run started, they were 36-48, 6 games below 500. And crazy thing is on June 24th, so that was less than a month ago, on June 24th, the Red Sox had the worst record in the American League. So, yes, the Red Sox had the worst record in the American League on June 24th. That's not even a month ago, like I said. Now, they're only 6.5 game backs of the division, and they have a firm 2.5 game lead in the wild card over the next spot, over the last spot in the wild card over the Seattle Mariners. what a run, man. What a run for this team. All doing it without their best players they have, which would be Roman Anthony. He has a torn ligament in his right hand. Garrett Crochet. He is actually their best pitcher. He hasn't been in this. He's been out with a lat issue and shoulder issues, and he's not due back until September. There's no timeline on when Anthony's going to return. So, yeah, this team's just been on a crazy run, been killing it, 15-game winning streak. I mean, this comes in with sweeps of the Yankees. It comes in with a sweep of the Rays, who is the first-place team in their division. And the list goes on and on and on. Obviously, with the 15-game winning streak, he swept pretty much everybody, right? So this team was just playing really, really well. And again, the key question, the real question you have to ask yourself there is this sustainable, right? Now, no team's going to continue rattling off 15-game winning streaks, but you can tell that, way this team's playing now. Are they sitting in a position where you think they're going to hold off Seattle and maintain that secondary wild card spot? Yeah, I think that's a valid question to ask, right? I mean, you do have teams like Seattle, Minnesota, and Baltimore. They're looking up at that spot. You also have teams like the Tigers, who are 6-4 in their last 10, may hold on to Tarik Skuba, may not. And the Astros, they're still close. They're only 4.5 games out of that last wild card spot. So there's a lot of teams that are going to be in the hunt for that last spot. Do I think this team can hold them off? Absolutely, I think they can. I think the Red Sox are in a position where, again, they have enough talent. Sonny Gray's been pitching incredibly well. Like, they have enough talent on this team to make you wonder why their record up until this point, this winning streak, was so bad in the first place, right? They made the acquisitions they needed to. They signed elite pitching. Sonny Gray was a great addition in the offseason. Obviously, Garrett Crochet the year before, the trade deadline the year before. He's, they made the moves to prove to their fan base that they're trying to win games. And when they were underperforming, they fired their manager. And it seems like they just, really started to turn it on recently. And they're basically, it looks like again, the hottest team in the AL right now, hottest team in baseball, period. 15-game winning streak for this team. Just completely balling out of their minds. Love to see it. I think they're going to pretty much hold on to that spot. I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think any team can win at this clip. But I do think it is possible for them to hold on to a wild card spot and make sure that they make themselves known in October. Absolutely. We got some comments here from, looks like we got AJ joining us on vacation, man. Obviously, super cool to see that. Yeah, screw the Phillies. Don't worry, buddy. I got you there. I got you. Tammy, friend of the channel, what AJ said. A little bit of back and forth. You love it. You love to see it. Yeah, and obviously it's not an episode of Major League DNA if we don't have AJ mentioning Go Braves at some point. And of course, Tammy letting her know her fandom there. Go Dodgers, absolutely. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. We got another comment here from AJ here. What's your opinion on the Tigers? What did the Tigers do with Tarik Skuba? So great question, AJ. So when it comes to Tarik Skuba, there's a lot of rumors on him. A lot of folks are talking about, like, okay, who's the best fit for them? The discourse is pretty much that the Tigers don't plan on re-signing him. At least that's not the rumor. The rumor is like, again, and this is kind of where I'm not sure, because if you're willing to sign a player for basically what you're paying him for this year, in Framber Valdez, you're paying him $30 million a year, and he's been a complete disaster. Why wouldn't you pay for the earning you have? Like, I don't know. There's a bit of discourse on this, but in my opinion, I actually think that the Detroit Tigers don't trade Tarik Skuba. This is probably going to age terribly, right? I'm probably going to get an ESPN notification any second now that they have made a trade, right? But in my opinion, I don't think they trade him. I don't think that they're far enough out. Again, they're 6-4 out of their last 10. I think they're going to do what Artie with the Angels did with Shohei Ohtani. Like, hey, you still want to sell tickets. You still want to get people to show up to the games. If you want to have a sellout every fifth start, you need to have Skuba out there. And I think that's worth it more to them as the team than what they're going to be able to get back in a prospect hall form. At least to them, I think that's what they're thinking. I don't think they move him. They're not far enough out in order for them to move him. They got some players coming back. Obviously, not all their starters, but man, Detroit Tigers, man, that team needs to be studied. They had just a rotation. You had Tarik Skuba, you had Framber Valdez, you had Casey Mize, and I believe they also had another pitcher that was also hurt. But they basically have a full rotation of starting pitchers that were supposed to be elite all down this year at some point for a decent amount of time. And again, Skuba, the right move is to trade him. Absolutely, 100%. You trade him, you get what they reportedly wanted, which is a outfield prospect and a starting pitcher who's ready to be in the rotation. There's plenty of teams that can offer that on what they want, and also some draft capital back as well, maybe some additional prospects. But yeah, I don't think that the Detroit Tigers are going to trade him. I want to know from you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Drop down in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that the Detroit Tigers trade Tarik Skuba before the deadline? Again, we're about 10 days out. We'll probably have one more show, AJ and I, before the trade deadline. So we'll probably re-engage with this a little bit. Might age terribly, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's my take, guys. Roast me in the comments. Let me know how off I am about Tarik Skuba. The right move is to trade him. I just don't think they do. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense why you wouldn't, but I don't think they will. That's just kind of where I'm sitting on that. Want to hear from you guys on that one for sure. Let's go ahead and jump into our next subject here, and common subject for this channel, which actually is something we've brought up quite a bit lately. And again, probably the number one watched video on the channel is about this player, which is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Again, appreciate everybody who watched that video and engaged in the comments with that one. We actually had a commenter that made a suggestion when we talked about pitch limits, that actually made a suggestion, and I think it's something that AJ and I need to dive in deeper on a future episode about, because I think that that's a good point. Something that he brought up that I want to dive in deeper on. We'll probably save that for another episode, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers pitched a complete game against the New York Yankees. Again, this is cool for a few reasons. The first one is that we all know that he pitched 2 complete games in the postseason last year, but this was his first time actually doing it in the regular season. It was the first time that any Dodger pitcher has pitched a complete game against the Yankees in New York. So he made Dodger history by being the first player to ever do it. First Los Angeles Dodger to ever do it in New York City at Yankee Stadium. He's also the first one to do it. There's actually competing information on the internet here. There's some that say a Seattle pitcher did it in 2010, and there's some that say that hasn't happened since Pedro back in like 1996. So there's competing on stats on that one, so I won't really go into that history there, but it's basically been the first time in a long time since anybody pitched a complete game against the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. What's great about this is he did it under 102 pitches. He did allow 2 runs during that time, so not close to qualifying as what's in the industry known as a Maddox, which is a complete game shutout in less than 100 pitches by the legendary Greg Maddux. Yeah, you love to see it, man. You love to see that Yoshinobu Yamamoto, again, is continuing to put this narrative, to bed there about a pitcher, having to worry about his pitch limits, his innings limits, just going out there and shoving every 6th game. Again, 102 pitches, not exactly a huge outing for him, but again, able to get it done, able to record a complete game, only allowing 2 runs, and really bouncing back after his performance against, I believe it was Arizona, where he gave up 6 runs in that performance, which was, not great, to say the least. I don't know if he's ever had a game where he's given up that many runs, which I don't think so. I think that's the worst he ever had was back then, in that start. So Anyway, you love to see it. Yoshinobu Yamamoto continuing to be the anchor, the ace of that Dodger rotation. And yeah, look forward to seeing, hoping he stays healthy down the stretch. We see him in the postseason. We'll see if there's more CGs in his future there. I really want to see the no-hitter. He's flirted with that twice going into either the last inning or of the last out of the last inning or the last out of the eighth inning with a no-no. And I think the last time was a perfect game too. So he's flirted with it in 2 seasons. And he also pitched a complete game, 2 complete games in the playoffs. Just being a stud of the rotation. I really want to see that no-no, man. I think that'd be great to see. I'm not picky. It doesn't have to be a perfect game. Just a no-no would be great. Let's see here. How long can Yamamoto keep this going? Well, he signed, I think, a 12-year contract, AJ. So I'm hoping that it's at least that long. No, I think that he's got the type of stuff that even when his fastball starts to slow down a little bit, he still has the movement on his pitches that he's going to have a nice long career for sure. Tammy Price, friend of the channel, sends in here. He will get it. Yeah, I mean, he's flirted with it a couple times. Do I expect it to happen this year? Probably not. Again, really just focusing on staying healthy, getting into the postseason, being healthy. So that's really the focus there, I think, for Yoshi. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. 2 years in a row, he's flirted with it. And he's pitched 3 complete games, 2 in the playoffs. It's coming for sure. One of them in a World Series game, for crying out loud. So yeah, it's definitely coming. One more thing we want to talk about here, and that's going to be Shohei Ohtani. It was reported over the week here that he is out of the Dodgers rotation indefinitely, creating another challenge for this Dodgers pitching staff here, already battling injuries throughout this season so far. Again, we've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. They're dealing with pitching history. I mean, pitching has always been a problem for the Dodgers. Starting pitching, it's always been an issue. They seem to not be able to keep starters healthy. Right now, they have Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow that are down, and we're having to rely on players like Emmett Sheehan and Robleski, and these are players that wouldn't necessarily be in the starting rotation for a team that has a starting rotation like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and Blake Snell, right? Blake Snell is a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He's not taking second, he's not being the 4th or 5th rotation pitcher on that team. So when you get those 2 back, these 2 players are obviously going to be moved either to the bullpen or down to AAA, more as a backup in case anybody else goes down. But to have Shohei Ohtani go down again and have it be indefinitely is definitely a bit of a concern for this team. Again, with the trade deadline approaching, they're going to significantly try to add. Sorry, not significantly try to add, but add some significant depth there. I think one of the smartest things that this team's done all year was add Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer actually had another great start today against the Phillies, another quality start from Lauer there, which is something you love to see. So Eric Lauer did a great job today in helping push the Dodgers past the Phillies for a win today. Got to talk about that double play, man, that ends the game last night, where they got Soto in a rundown. Great play for Max Muncy. I got to say that the Max Muncy is the most underrated player in baseball. We have a video on that. Actually, check it out. We'll link it somewhere in the comments down below here. Max Muncy, gets a ball grounder hit to him, and he doesn't throw home immediately because all that's going to do is just push the runner back to third. He waits long enough to get him in a rundown, and they get him in a rundown. They tag him out, and then for some reason, Real Muto, who's supposed to be a smart player, runs back to second. I don't know why you're not just standing on that bag at third. But anyway, he runs back to second. They gun down to second, tag him out, and that's the way that game ends. Reminiscent of the wheel play that they pulled against them back in the day, where Muncy just crashed on the bunt, turned around and fired to third with Mookie ready there to tag out Castellanos, I think is his name, there at third. It's just beautiful play. You love to see it. Again, Ohtani going down. We're definitely going to replace him at starting pitching somewhere. I don't know if they're going to bring somebody up for that or we're just going to see more bullpen games. But I definitely think the Dodgers have 2 areas of concern there. One is catching, and 2 is definitely going to be filling out that starting pitching depth. Is it going to be the sexiest thing? Like I said, I don't know if Skuba is going to be available, and if that's even a move that they make. It may be some other options there that nobody's really thinking about. People who don't realize they may not be healthy or not. But we did see Shohei Ohtani throwing off the mound in a bullpen today, which actually is funny because it was only 2 or 3 days ago where Dave Roberts said it's going to be a week to 10 days before we even consider that him throwing on that incline, and he was throwing in a bullpen earlier today. So I think Shohei Ohtani is basically making his point, saying that he wants to come back sooner than what the team wants to do. So we'll see about that. Honestly, I would just say shut him down to September. Don't risk it. I'd rather have him in the lineup than not at all, and just make him healthy and give him a couple starts before the postseason. I think the chance at the Cy Young's already gone with the starts that he's missed because he's just simply not going to get the innings. So I think now it's probably just best just to make sure he's healthy and ready to go for the postseason. Got a couple comments here from in the chat here. We've got AJ. Can the Dodgers survive without Ohtani? Injuries keep stacking up. I think so. I mean, again, the Dodgers have survived without. I don't think they can survive without him in the lineup. I think they'll make it. They'll make it to the postseason without him. I mean, they did it for 10 straight seasons without him on the team. Believe it or not, Shohei Ohtani has not always been a Dodger. It's kind of funny to think about that. He did spend 7 or 8 seasons with the Angels. I think they still are a major league team. But it's crazy to think there that this team was great without him. Can they make it to the playoffs? Absolutely. Could they win the World Series without him? Probably not. Definitely not, I would say. They need Shohei on this team for that. And so, yeah, I'd rather have him just stay in the lineup and start, just keep swinging and start the rehab process versus trying to rush him back too soon. We got a friend of the channel, Tammy Price. If there is another great pitcher the Dodgers should sign, since if only there were a great pitcher the Dodgers could sign, since so many are hurt. Yeah, I love that, Tammy Price. I think that's hilarious. Skuba, I would rather sign with the Braves. I think everybody's thinks every Braves fan. I'm sure they think that for sure. Not sure, if the Braves have what the Tigers want. Again, I don't think they trade him. I don't think that they're going to do the smart thing there, which would be to trade him. But if they did, I don't know if the Braves have what they would need. You would know, AJ, on that one. Let me know. Seriously, though, I think Glasnow, I don't think Glasnow is coming back. Snell would be, but I'm worried that he's going down again. Honestly, yeah, I think Tyler Glasnow is going to be an issue. If we get anything out of him this season, I don't think he's going to make it to through the postseason. So, I hope that they just do what they did last year and just keep him shut down until September, get a couple starts in, and let him roll through October, see how long we can get him, and kind of go from there. AJ says Snell has been so unreliable. It's frustrating I bet it's frustrating as a Dodgers fan. Blake Snell has always been a second half pitcher. So while it would have been nice to have him in the rotation during the first half of the year, he's always been best in the second half of the year. Again, two-time Cy Young Award winner. We don't win the World Series if he doesn't come in on that Game 7 to pitch the ninth. When Miguel Rojas hit that home run to tie the game. If he wasn't in, if he didn't come in and pitch in relief twice in the postseason and get hurt for it, he pitched hurt in the World Series, and then tried to come into the season regular and obviously had one start, did not last, went back on the IL. You make sacrifices as a player to perform in October, and I don't hold anything against him for doing that. I think it was the right move. He got his World Series ring. It was worth it for him. It's worth it for the team. Even if he doesn't pitch another game in a Dodgers uniform, I think Blake Snell's contract already paid for itself with that World Series. When he helped in the World Series, he pitched great against Baltimore. Not Baltimore. He pitched great against the Brewers in that series. I think he didn't get a complete game, but he pitched 8 innings of solid pitching there. Had at least 10 strikeouts. Yeah, he was really good down the stretch, and yeah, we got what we needed out of him. We got another World Series ring, and I think if he doesn't pitch another game, that contract was worth it. Can't say the same for Tyler Glasnow, and I don't know why, because they're similar. I guess his performances just haven't been the same in the postseason. So I don't know why it doesn't feel the same for Glasnow as it does for Blake Snell. It's weird that it doesn't feel the same. Love this. Bring back Wardvet, gum guy. If you watch Ben Wardvet play, that guy's chomping at the bit like he. It's crazy. It's crazy. We also have a comment here from Tammy Price. What do you think about all the talk that if he doesn't pitch, PC will take the MVP? There's a lot of talk on it. PCA is having a great year, especially since he hit that home run into the tarp soft section and kind of turned his season around. I still think Shohei Ohtani, even if he doesn't pitch, is going to outwar him. And I think even just as a batter, if he continues playing the same way he is, I do think it's closer than it's ever been for Shohei Ohtani not to have the MVP. I think that race is tighter, but I still don't know anybody who's going to pick PCA unless you're a Cubs fan or unless you just have voter fatigue. I don't know how you can look at the WAR production for Shohei Ohtani and the fact that he did pitch and did have 8 starts so far this season, 10 starts so far this season, with a sub-4 ERA, still while hitting 20 home runs, wherever he's at on that. He's still gonna have a productive season, still gonna have close to 100 RBI, still gonna be batting close to 300, still gonna have some of the best OPS plus all in Major League. It's tough to argue against that. Again, only voter fatigue would probably pull that away. Sorry, Greg. On that one there, but yeah, I think it's going to be closer than it ever has been, but I don't see him winning the MVP over Shohei. Yeah, I do like the chances that American League has. I mean, obviously, Judge has missed too much time; he's not going to win the MVP there. So, I believe AJ's prediction of Bobby Witt Jr. could come to fruition there. So that'd be cool. Again, that kind of brings us to the end of the show here, folks. We want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Should the Dodgers be in panic mode with Shohei Ohtani already being out of the rotation indefinitely? Do you think they should shut him down pitch-wise until at least the postseason, or at least close to the postseason to ramp him back up? Or do you think this is, do you think that the fact that he's already pitching off the mound and throwing a bullpen is a good sign that it's going to be short-lived? We want to hear from you in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap. This is a live stream we do every Wednesday evening at 8:30-ish. Sorry, I came on a little late today. I couldn't figure out how to get this microphone connected, so it was a bit of an issue. We want to hear from you folks. Again, jump in the comments, let us know. Make sure you like and subscribe to Major League DNA, Utah Jazz DNA, also DNA Sports Recap. Check out the merch store in the comments down below. And in the description down below. Check out the merch. But look at the hats, look at the beanies, hoodies, all that good stuff. More to come. And we will see you next week.